The title of this video will probably be "Social Media is Horrible" or something like that. And no, it's not clickbait. In this video, I'm going to discuss the pros and cons of social media. In my opinion, of course. You can all have your own opinions. I'm not saying any of them are valid or invalid. Just keep in mind this is my opinion and how I view social media as a whole. And I do use social media. Hashtag follow me on Twitter. But that does not mean it's the best thing ever without any flaws or problems. Much like alcohol. You know it's harmful, but you still drink it because it has some pros. I mean, if you view getting drunk and really delirious as pros. So let's start off with the good. Why I use social media and many others. You see, in the old times, God, that makes me sound old. But you see, in the old times, you would barely have any communication with people on the other side of the planet, or people in other towns. Of course, you could have some communication, maybe via emails or postmail, or maybe setting up a meeting up. But there was barely any communication. It was difficult. It was not that efficient or often that you could talk to other people in other places without any hassle or wait times, which Twitter, for example, fixes. You have easier access to other cultures, people, and you can communicate easier. Especially when you're a creator of any sort, you will want to interact with your fan base, the community you have built up, and Twitter is very perfect for it. You can notify all of your followers of updates to your life, new videos, or ask your followers for feedback. The list of positives goes on, it's fairly big. But summarized, Twitter makes communication easier. Social media overall makes communication easier, but not just for the creators. It also allows fans of certain creators to possibly interact with their favorite creators, either by replying or in some cases if they have DMs open, DMing them. Twitter is a great tool, for example. Twitter makes communication easier, as I said before. It simplifies it. It makes it more simple to talk and share your thoughts, life, etc. All of the same things can be said about Instagram, Facebook, any social media really. 90% of them allow for easier communication. But let's now dissect a bit more into the good, one by one. I mentioned this before, but when you're a creator of any sort, you create something, be it videos, art, books, anything. Feedback is crucial, especially from your community. You know, the people that are buying your stuff, watching your stuff, wasting their time on your creations. Of course, if it's actual criticism and not just go kill yourself, Limau. But a few decades ago, that was almost impossible to get. Any communication or feedback was hard to come by. Your only feedback really was from the news, word of mouth, or reviews that were written somewhere, usually on a newspaper or a magazine. I mean, of course, you did have forums, they've always existed, but nothing really close to what we have now. Nowadays, you make a video or any creation, post it on Twitter or any social media, and you will almost immediately get people commenting on it, either criticizing it or saying what was done well. And this is extremely crucial for the creator, as criticism allows for the creator to grow, to learn from their mistakes and evolve their craft. If you don't throw a tantrum and actually listen to feedback, that is, like actual feedback, that usually helps. One of the most crucial aspects that makes social media useful is accessibility. Now, if you need something found, or are looking for something, or you want to find some specific information or something, you can just open up Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, any social media, any internet page, anything, whatever you want, and find what you're looking for 90% of the time. You can equally get help with an issue that you have, for example. Usually if the people are not being twats. A good example would be those occasional tweets where someone is looking for a person from his or her past but can't find them, so they ask Twitter/Instagram or any other social media for help. And most of the time the two people are reunited thanks to the power and accessibility and wide reach of social media. And equally you have access to thousands of different perspectives, tips, ideas, information, so on and so forth. Or things you never knew about, all by social media or internet pages in general. Internet is pretty cool. I talked about the good, but as you know, where there is good, there is the bad. Now, the good things about social media aside, let's talk about the bad things, starting with very recent events, such as creators from YouTube scamming their fans on Instagram, and all of the Instagram ads, along with the absolute stupidity you see every day on Twitter, YouTube, or any other social media really. Yeah, and YouTube has an easy example of someone abusing their fan base. Cough, cough, Jake Paul, cough, cough. Yeah, cough. And yes, YouTube can and is considered social media, but he does not just stop at YouTube. He promotes his merch, his scams everywhere that is humanly possible, because you need the mulchach, you need the money. But I won't get into that too much, as thousands of people have already talked about it a few million times. However, I will dissect a bit into Instagram. Instagram is known for creators either being shady or simply making huge mistakes, which results in your fans getting scammed. A good example of this would be Gabby Hanna with Kenza Cosmetics. And yes, I am aware that Gabby responded to this a few times, but overall I suppose she apologized and explained what happened. But nonetheless, this is a good example of how easily social media can screw you over, either intentionally or unintentionally, by the influencers, or by them just simply abusing their fan base. Hallelujah, abuse. Let's talk about arguably the worst part about social media. So nowadays, if somebody digs up your old stupid tweets that you made God knows when, or makes some wild accusations about you on social media, you will get witch hunted. There is no question about it. Innocent or not, you will get witch hunted by mobs of people on social media constantly. Witch hunting is the most stupid thing social media has ever created. And yes, I know that the Salem witch trials and witch hunting was an actual thing, but social media witch hunting is more stupid. This mentality to go after someone in mobs because someone said something about someone that might be true or might not, or somebody digs up an old tweet from 10, 20, 30 years ago. This is one of the absolute worst things about social media, and there is thousands of examples of this. Imagine you're just calmly waking up, you go and make yourself some tea, you sit down, you chillax, and then suddenly you see 190 notifications on Twitter, for example, and you open up only to see that it's filled with insults, people wanting you to die or deactivate or God knows whatever else. All because some person, some twat somewhere, either made an accusation or just pulled up an ancient tweet that you made. How does this solve anything? It does not at all. Even if the person being witch hunted is a complete twat, all you're doing is just being a twat like them. If not bloody worse. And that person will just deactivate his or her social media or move on, ignoring you. Nothing really gets achieved. They're still gonna go on with their life. In this day, oh God, I swear I'm not that old. I'm really not. But in this day, social media has become one of the most popular things on the internet. You can't walk on a street without seeing someone on their phones using Instagram, Twitter, or any of the other social media sites. But now with millions upon billions of people existing on one plane of existence called internet and well social media, you're going to see arguments, insults, different ideologies, different cultures, and absolute stupidity. This is more of a issue with the internet as a whole. I mean, if you do or say something almost 100% of the time, someone will disagree with you and say something to directly insult you. And I'm not saying this is such a horrible thing or a mind-blowing revelation. Everyone knows that the internet has its twats, and we deal with these kinds of twats in our lives constantly, off or on the internet at some points. But my point is how out of hand it can quickly get. The moment two people meet on social media and start fighting, it becomes drama, and the other people get involved, and it blows up way out of proportion. So sometimes scrolling through Twitter, I feel like I'm watching an episode of The Bold and the Beautiful. Bloody hell. Relating to the witch hunts and other flaws, sometimes when people who are in charge of these social media sites or have some considerable amount of influence on them, if they disagree with you or get absolutely offended by something you said, be ready to get witch hunted and a literal shitstorm to follow. God have mercy on you if you trigger someone, you will be skinned alive, or well, they will attempt to. The point is that bias is a powerful thing in something like social media. If the person who you just happen to offend on accident has power or influence, they can get you into a bunch of trouble, or at least make life hard on you. This is one of the weakest points of social media, the fact that those who have influence can abuse that influence. Especially on sites like YouTube and Twitter. It is absolutely prevalent on those sites. Like, you trigger some YouTuber that has a few million subscribers and you will get the entire fan base on your ass. Overall, I do use social media due to its pros, such as communication, getting feedback and accessibility, but I also hate it for its myriad of cons. However, I'm not saying you should stop social media or stop using social media. I just wanted to make a kind of a think piece, if you will. You're free to disagree or agree with me, and I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. But in my opinion, social media has quite the cons. I mean, it's good, but like everything good, there has to be bad. But seriously, thank you for watching my video. Let me know in the comments what you thought. If you disliked the video, let me know why so I can improve. If you enjoyed it and want to see more videos discussing a variety of topics, leave a like, subscribe, and smash that bell button.